Hey, hey.
Hey,
What's up?
nothing.
Cool.
Can you record it?
It's recording already. I will be recording it.
And it still was making that funny noise.
So I can't use my earpieces then. Is that better?
I'll let you know in a minute if it does it.
So yeah, it's my earbuds.
That sucks.
Oh well. All right, let's see who hops on.
Tanya is at hockey.
Yep.
And Megan is going to do her lower fix. She just got home. She was running late today. So I said that I would send her the link after.
All right. So she might be on later then? No? Hey.
Hello.
How are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I think I had my face in my salmon. I can't even see. There's so much grease on my glasses. It's disgusting.
Right from live to eating to this call, eh?
I did manage to do some packing and some dishes and the garbage and the kitchen cleanup. Somehow I'm sweating though. Don't judge me.
Extra workout.
Well, I said, and I emptied the fridge too because we're going away, right? And I was like, babe, do you promise me? Do you promise me that you're going to clean out the fridge before you come home? Because I am not coming home to a fridge full of old bad food. He said yes, and then I proceeded to still do it. So why did I even ask? Typical wife thing, right? Like ask, just do, just do.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I'm digging your goatee.
My goatee.
Yeah, looks awesome.
That's just scruff from not taking care of myself.
I'm used to the full beard kind of thing because
Sean, eh?
Sean does it, yeah. So I'm just used to it, I guess.
All right. Maybe we should give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get started.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you. We totally want to see you, Kat. I don't care if your kids are awake. I totally want to see it. Mine are outside. I can hear them. It's way past bedtime, but Dad's home, so.
Oh, so he'll get to ring them out later, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, he's working in Brantford this week, so.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I see him before 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Perfect.
He serves me shakes while I'm doing calls. Thanks, babe.
Look at that. Serviced with a smile.
Every night.
Tell him I said hi.
Derek says hi, babe.
Hi, Derek.
I think he's coming back. Come and say hi. I was going to tell you to. He always runs away so quickly.
I know I have to make an appearance, right, and say hi. Part of my duties.
That's your job.
That's
Just
right.
do your job.
That's right.
All right. I think we're starting. Bye, babe.
All right. So because I've only got you for 40 minutes on this call, Alida, I'm going to hop right into it now. So it's already recording. So for anybody that doesn't know who Alida is, she's a 5-star elite, Success Club 10 legend, 33 months in a row, Success Club, organization leader. She's a mom of 3 girls, Shayna, Lena, and Keelan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Keelan's what, 5 months now?
5 months, yeah.
Give or take. Also a wife to Sean, and a girl boss. So, you know, I asked Alida to hop on our call tonight just to give us, you know, a little insight to her journey and, you know, how she kind of got into Beachbody and, basically running some, successful challenge groups, and then maybe even if we have enough time into how she runs the challenge groups into maybe recruiting and so forth. So, Alida.
Sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate the welcome and the introduction. It's definitely, looking back on the past 3 years, not what, when you start as a coach, you see these ranks and you see these things. And I remember seeing a Success Club board for the first time, and I was like, yeah, someday I'll see my name on there. Someday. And I remember going to Summit for the first time and thinking, one day I'll walk on that stage, maybe someday. So when it's, when stuff like that actually happens and your name is beside those things, and it's like all these accomplishments that they just happen because I continued leading with heart and kind of investing in people the way that I wanted to, in just genuinely helping people. It comes as a big surprise, I guess, to me that, everybody, when they start this thing, they're like, well, I'm not a salesperson and I'm not a this and I'm not a that. Like, legit, neither am I. I just want to help people. And I think by doing that and by leading with heart, that somehow I ended up here. Obviously learning as I go, but it's been a really interesting journey. I've learned a lot about myself and I've changed a lot. Thankfully, my husband has embraced that and changed with me, but not without some struggle and not without a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and sacrifice. I don't know, do you want me to share a little bit how I got started?
For sure.
I don't want to take up a lot of time with like the background of stuff, but I think the major part of, I think, how my business got started that is kind of crucial to communicate is that it didn't matter if it was bedtime. It didn't matter if it was dinner time. It didn't matter if there was something on my schedule. I just made shit happen. It was no excuses. I never missed a team call. My husband worked away. He was gone 21 days of the month. He was literally home for 6 days a month. And I just made it happen. If there was a call at 6 and, supper time changed, it was bedtime changed. It was the kids are in the bath and I have the computer beside, like there's somebody, it's Kat that's on the call and her kids are awake and she's on the call. I think there's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be inconveniences, just like there is for your workout. So you can either find a reason not to, or you can find a reason to do the things that are going to help you be successful in this business. And literally fit coaching into the cracks of my life. Yes, I was a quote unquote stay-at-home mom at the time with two kids, but I was also a single mom living cross country from any help. So there were no breaks. There was nobody to call and ask for help. And I was drowning myself in a puddle of self-pity on the daily. I would put my kids to bed and I had no husband and I was away from everybody. I was out in Calgary and I would drink myself to sleep every night. I would literally polish off a bottle of wine. It would just numb everything. It would make it all go away. And the next day I would get up and tired, just carry on. And night after night, the same thing was happening. And I wasn't getting any better as a person. I was just continuing to wallow and stuff was quote unquote happening to me. You know how we get into that mindset that I got to close my Facebook. Sorry. Things happen to you when you have a negative mindset and when you're in that woe is me, you're a victim of life and things happen to you. All this bad stuff happens. And it was during that binge drinking stint, that first month that Sean went away, that Sean's dad actually drank himself to death. He is a severe alcoholic and it was his time. So that was kind of a wake up call for me. I needed to change and I did. So I remember putting on the song Pony by Genuine and I totally just started rocking out to squats in my kitchen. And I was doing squats and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll get down and do some modified push-ups. And the next day I woke up and I was sore and I was, sore. So, I'm going to do that again. So I changed it up and I did that. And then I added sit-ups and stuff and I just got hooked. And then a friend of mine was telling me all about this group on Facebook that I could join and all these people making changes. And I'm like, dude, don't need that. I got this. Like I'm doing it on my own. Don't need that. Don't need support. I got this. But lo and behold, not too long later, I started feeling like I want to check out this group. So I did. And I just was doing my own thing. I was using my elliptical and using my weights, but I saw that everybody else was having so much change and I really wasn't. So I knew Shakeology was going up that month, and I actually signed up to coach with a challenge pack the day that I got my challenge pack. I didn't know about the business. And my coach really isn't a massive business builder. Like she's doing it more for hobby to pay for extracurriculars and stuff. But as I kept going, I kept learning, and I just found my upline and their upline and their upline, and I started tapping into things and learning. And I often bring this up because I think we can get into, again, the victim of life or complacency game and blame our upline for quote unquote lack of support. But when it comes to coaching, we all have the same tools and resources. We all have the FAQ. We all have YouTube. We all have Google, and we all have access to the Coach Online office and the training academy. And there's just so much information out there, almost too much, to be honest, when it comes to coaching. But we can all be successful in this business. Like, I haven't spoken to my coach in over a year. We don't have a relationship. I feed off of other leaders. I feed off of other people who are inspiring me all the time. Like, you guys pop up on my feed and I'm inspired by you. And then somebody else in my upline group posts something and I learn from them. So I think when it comes to breaking into your business, it's really important to not feel stuck where you are, let's say. Like, if I have a system for my business and I have coaches below me, I don't want to hold them back. Like, my goal with my downline is to get them to be independent of me as quickly as possible. And sometimes it's hard on the ego, especially if they're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so has the greatest training, so-and-so does this. And it's, it can be deflating to your ego, but at the same time, my way isn't going to be your way, right? So if you find that, somebody else is doing something that you align with, I highly encourage you to just keep following that person. You guys are really lucky because you have male and female on your team. You've got Derek and Helen, right? Okay. I always want to say Helene because my aunt's name is Helene, but I know you're French, so it's Helen, right? So you're really fortunate with that you have a male and female role model. I'm always nervous to bring men into my downline because I don't know how to relate so much to them. But, I guess when you break into your business, I think it's really crucial to find your own way and not to feel like you have to be trapped in this little box. Like, because I think when you find yourself in this business, you're really going to flourish. So that's kind of how I got started, and I just kept going with momentum, leading with heart and wanting to help people. One of the things that I can unequivocally say was, two things, I guess, were epic for how I built my business was, number one, green means go, and number two, free clean eating challenges. So green means go, which I totally have not done over the last year because, as I mentioned, my husband worked away, right? So I put my kids to bed. Green means go. I would sit down and I would work from 7:30 until 1 a.m. Green means go. That was go time. And what I did was just have conversations. Legit, open up the chat box. Whoever's green, I would start talking. That's it. Hey girl, go to their profile, creep it out, see what they've been up to, find a conversation starter. Easy peasy pudding and pie, right? I haven't been doing this for the last year because my husband is home, right? So I've been like, oh, well, I'm not going to work in the evenings. I have a nanny in the day and that's my work time. And, I'm going to take my evenings off and I'm going to spend the weekend with my husband. And while in theory, it sounded great in my head, and it's something that Sean and I have talked about a lot. He always says, babe, you need to work when the people want you. The people want you in the evenings, and the people want you. Hey, baby, can you go into bed? And they want you. Come and give me a kiss. The people want you in the evenings, and the people, good night, sweetheart. And the people want you on weekends. And so I was getting back to basics with my team, thinking, good night, baby. I love you. Mwah. I'll come and kiss you after my call, okay? Okay. Night-night. So green means go. I just started employing again on my on my team, and I actually like made a visual for it. And I sat down last night and got back to what it was that I did to build my business for the first 2 years. And I can tell you today, I have been riding the biggest high because I feel like I'm digging into those relationships again. Like for the longest time, my inbox was just full, right? So I felt like I was already overwhelmed and couldn't just start up more conversations. But getting back to doing that feels so great. So my biggest tip is find a time. Find 20 minutes in your day. Find half an hour in your day. Find 10 minutes in your day. If you have an hour, carve out an hour. Literally turn off everything else. Kill your news feed. Open up 2 browsers. One that has your chats and one that has the ability to seek out their name. So you can open up their profile in one page and you can have your chats open in the other page and just start conversations. So what I did last night to help my team with these, because a lot of people are really nervous about just starting random conversation with people on your feed, is I copy and pasted. Every time I sent a message to one of those people, I copy and pasted it into a document. So it was duplicatable. So they can see what kind of conversation that I'm having and how I'm starting conversation with people just out of the blue, right? I think sometimes we can just overthink things and you get into paralysis by analysis mode and you're like, well, I don't know what to say and I don't want to come off as, who cares? Just start typing and push enter and go. When you get up the balls to go, you just go, right? You just do it. You get your mind set on it and you go for it. And I can totally share that document with you if you want, so you can see what those look like. I don't have my drive open. I can open it while I'm talking. But that was definitely number 1, how I built my business. And number 2 was clean eating challenges. So the clean eating challenges was a way for me to help people by giving them something for nothing. It was, sorry, sample. I just want to open this up so I don't forget to send it to you guys or post it. I might as well provide tools while I'm, oh, sugar. That's totally not what I say. I say the other word. But it was my way of giving something for nothing to people so that I could let them know that I'm not in this for the sale. I'm not in this to make money. I'm not in this for all those reasons. Like, I am in this to genuinely care for the people that I'm talking to and help them to change whether they're investing or not. And typically what I find is by building with that trust, they are more open to investing in things. So I know you want me to talk about successful challenge groups. Do you guys do clean eating challenges, Derek?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Just the male-female kind of thing to get males into a clean eating thing. To live
Totally.
it would be totally type of challenge group. I know a lot of the women have run very successful groups where you get like 40 people in there, like a clean eating crock pot challenge. I know that's going around right now. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very, useful for, the busy moms, for the busy dads or whatever like that. But
absolutely.
Make it unique, something like that you struggle with, that you can share and help at the same time, right?
Totally. Whether it's personal development or cleaning, like the crock pot challenge, I love for those busy working moms, or like summer grilling in the barbecue season. And truthfully, that's how I built my business, and that's how I get my coaches to start their businesses as well. Within their first week, I want them to launch a clean eating challenge. So with that, it helps them to segue into their first real challenge. So I provide them with the rules, the sample, the menu, and every single post for their challenge. So it's literally a plug and play system. So as soon as they start, they have something that they can use, and they're not like, well, I don't know what to post. I've never done that before. So it's just easy for them to duplicate. And then on day 4 in that is when we get them talking about like, oh my gosh, the challenge is ending tomorrow. Now what? Now what do I do? It's been a great 5 days, or 4 days, but after tomorrow, like, can we keep this group open? Normally that's what people say, right? So I put a post in there to help them explain the holy shit, now what? Where they can talk about, well, now, sorry, your kids are there, aren't they? He's
heard lots worse than that. Don't worry.
Okay. So that's normally when we get them to talk about the container system, how we have a program that's specifically designed to help you with this. And, you know, this was a great week to help establish better eating habits and whatnot, but now you can really get serious and use the container system and the workouts, and literally everything is lined out for you. And that typically transitions them into their first couple challenge packs right off the hop. They've built trust, they've given something for nothing, and then we transition right into their first challenge group. Any questions with that?
Anybody put up their hand and I'll unmute you? No? Good. Anybody? Or use it in the chat too, okay, guys? Mm-hmm. Put it in the chat if you have any questions, okay?
I find with the clean eating challenge, for the first little while, I was posting, but I didn't dig deep into like why people are eating, why they do. So the one that I share with my team digs deeper than the surface level. It gets into the reasons why people are eating, why they're using something to deal with something else. So typically emotional eating, or just really digging into why they're eating and how they're eating, and deeper things. And I find that it's opening up a lot of conversation and vulnerability in that group, and it builds really strong relationships. And it's easy to transition from that into a clean eating or into a regular challenge group. But again, with the challenge groups, like I've had so many that flop, to be honest. Like sometimes they flop and sometimes they don't. And after doing multiple challenge groups that flopped, I finally put a post out there and was like, guys, I don't want anybody around anymore. Like, I'm so sick and tired of seeing you give up on yourselves. Everybody starts, and then 2 weeks in and everybody fizzles out, and I'm the only one posting in this challenge group, and I need to know what you need from me in order to make these a success. And they said, I need to be held accountable. And I said, fine. And we have the app now, which I haven't used, to be honest. I'm always resistant to change when it comes to systems like that. So I haven't used it. But what I did do was implement a tracking system. And I told them up front, and they have to post every day, and they have to track it in this Excel document. And if they have 3 days in a row, they'll get a message from me, and they get kicked out of the challenge. And my most successful challenge was that one. You know, some people on my team thought, like, you can't kick somebody out of the challenge. I was like, you know what? These people have been in multiple challenges, and they've given up on themselves time and time again. It's time for me to go balls to the walls. If you're serious, you're going to do it, and you're going to know that you're going to get kicked out. And they loved it. Who knew?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if you guys are using the app and having success with that, but the thing that really changed up my challenge groups was going hard and really pushing them and having, like, it was kind of like a threat, you know?
Yeah, so setting a tone for that challenge group, what you expect, right?
Totally. Before the challenge, I feel like less people gave up on themselves, and I had more real transformations, and people were literally like coming to me like, I'm so sorry, I didn't get my workout in today, but I swear I'm going to double up tomorrow. And I'm like, obviously, like, chill, it's cool, you know, behind the scenes. But I think just having that kind of the fear-mongering tactic in my back pocket was like, they were boom sauce. Like, I'm not quitting this time because I'm going to get kicked out of this challenge. And I had a lot of coaches come to me and say, you know, I really don't think that's fair, because just, you know, how many times did you start and stop before you actually stuck with it? And that's true. And that's valid. So I think you really have to be careful with that, with your challengers and your challenge groups.
So would that be, you know, listening to what your challengers are, you know, struggling with, right?
I think so. And it's not for everyone, you know, the tough love thing, you know, and I think even us leading teams of coaches, not everybody feeds off of tough love. So I think absolutely, if you can do a feedback form at the end of a challenge and ask for, you know, what could have worked better for this challenge, or how would you recommend my services? Would you XYZ? And how did you ask a lot of open-ended questions so that they can give you some feedback? And obviously you don't have to implement it all, and it can be very overwhelming, but the little tweaks that you can make to your challenge group, you know, even if it's, you know, some people do prizes. I personally don't do prizes for my challenge groups. Some people do prizes. Some people do points challenges. Have you guys ever done a points challenge?
Yep.
Your challenge groups? Yeah. So sometimes people find those really great, and adding in the extra points ones for recruiting. So if you bring a friend to start the next challenge, that gives them an additional 10 points. If you sign up to coach at the end of this challenge, you'll get an additional 15 points. So it's kind of incentivizing it. And if somebody does decide to sign up to coach in the process of the challenge group, to announce it in the group and really celebrate that somebody's wanting to pay it forward and share that. I think more than anything, what I'm loving about this phase of my business is duplicatability, is just saving everything. If you're going to run a challenge group, save your posts, save it, because you can always use that post on your profile. You can use it on your like page. You can use it in an accountability group. You can use that anywhere and always repurpose your content. I find for my team, we're really using Google Drive a lot. So everything is shareable. Oh, that's a really great question. Yeah, so everything just duplicatable and everything available in Google Docs. And so anybody and everybody can use it and tweak it and make it their own, not copy and paste necessarily if it's going on a profile, because I think that kind of takes away from our credibility.
Yep.
It always has to be your own voice, right? But for clean eating challenges, typically I will advertise them not on a Monday. Mondays are too chaotic. People are getting back to work and they're stressed. They're catching up on emails, and it's like nobody has time for Facebook on Mondays, really, except for Beachbody coaches, because we love Mondays. But typically on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll advertise for a clean eating challenge. And it really depends on your own niche market as for the timing of your post. For me, my clients are stay-at-home moms. So they go and they do school drop-off in the morning, and they're getting up and getting their kids ready. So for me, like 7 to 9:30 is no bueno. You don't post then, because my mamas, they're not on Facebook. They're being moms. So I need to make sure that it's after they're home from school drop-off and they're kind of chilling, get other kids home, have snacks. Same with, for me, after school pickup. There's like a time slot that there's no reason that I should ever post at that time. But day of the week, I always recommend doing it for the first one on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then doing it again. Most people say not to post on Friday, but I feel like Friday around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 to 2 p.m. is when people have totally pieced out from their job and they're creeping Facebook. They really have no intention of doing their work anymore on a Friday. So I find that can be a great reminder time, and then launching it on a Monday, always on a Monday. So with the menus, I would post the menu the night before. So I would post Monday's menu on Sunday. I would post Tuesday's menu on Monday. And that just doesn't work for people. People are too busy. They need the ability to prep, right? Yeah. So now I just upfront, I post the whole, I do a mix and match menu. When I do them, I don't do them anymore, to be honest. They're just too big now, but that's how I built my business. I always post the full menu on Friday so that they have the ability to grocery shop all weekend. So I don't do a grocery list because it's a mix and match meal plan. So they can pick and choose, especially if it comes to finances. A lot of people can't afford some of the things on the mix and on the menu, right? So it allows them the ability to pick and choose what it is that they like from the different menus, and they can kind of play around with it. And if you can match it up with the 21-day fixed meal plan, even better. Have options for them. But that's when I typically launch them to have the best feedback and results with it. Is there another? Would you be willing to share? Absolutely. Absolutely will. I want to share this with you. This is I mentioned the Hey Girl messages.
Hey girl?
Hey girl. Yeah, notice you were fishing on the weekend. That was one heck of a catch.
Doesn't really work with me sending those out as much.
Hey bro. Hey dude.
Hey,
I don't know. Okay, so that's the Hey Girl messages that I was sending out. Let me just go back to the clean eating one. Any other questions? I always feel like I'm rambling, but you never know what you can.
I did write down a few questions, and I know maybe a couple other people might have a couple things. But, one thing that really stuck out while you were talking, Alida, was, when Sean was away, you definitely had a big why to kind of, focus on your business. And that was basically to get him home, right? And
Absolutely.
I remember, seeing all that go down in that. And, having that why, how did that come upon you? Like, it probably took you a little bit. You probably struggled at first and you didn't know what to do, but then all of a sudden you just went right out, right?
I did. I'll never forget the day. I'll never forget the day that I finally believed in myself. I didn't have a choice. Sean was living hell in camp, and he desperately wanted to be home and leaving the kids and having extra childcare. And it was just like in the back of my mind, like watching all these other people and knowing what they were able to accomplish with coaching, just leading by heart and not focusing on the sales. And it was like, if they can do it, why can't I? Why can't this work for me? And I sat in the kitchen and I said to Sean, I'm not messing around with this anymore. Like, this is going to work. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they reply this week. It doesn't matter if they buy next month. It doesn't matter, because no matter what, I am not going to stop exercising. I'm not going to quit eating healthy, and I'm not going to stop sharing about it.
Perfect.
I'm going, you can take the same thing and you can use it as evidence and proof that this business isn't going to work for you. Or you can take that exact same moment and you can say, how can I improve upon this? How can I tweak this? And how can I sharpen my skills to make this better and make this more applicable to people like me? What am I going to say and what am I going to do and how am I going to post to get that mom up off the couch? That mom that doesn't want to look at herself in the mirror anymore, who doesn't want to take her clothes off and doesn't want to be intimate with her husband anymore. How am I going to post to get her up, to get her to move? You take the same moment, use it as evidence of why this MLM thing doesn't work, why coaching doesn't work for you, or you take it to sharpen and improve upon yourself, your skills, your vulnerability, and how it is that you're posting, and you stay focused on why you want to do this. You can't be a half in, half out kind of coach. You can't come into coaching and say, I'm going to give this a try, because every single time that something happens and you have no comment, you have no like, you have a flop, you have a challenge that flops, you're going to take that and you're going to say, yeah, deposit proof. Coaching doesn't work. Deposit proof. Coaching doesn't work. When you're half-assing this and you're 1 foot in, it's never going to work for you. Never. You've got to believe in this. You've got to believe. To me, when you're quitting coaching, you're telling me that you're quitting this. You're quitting exercising and you're quitting working out, because that's literally, aside from that and sharing about it and helping other people get started, that's what coaching is. That's what it is. And the more that you invest in time, effort, and energy in other people, the more you're going to see return on it. The more you put into this, the more you get out of it. And that doesn't mean quantity. That means quality. You can talk until you're blue in the face, but if you're not asking the right questions and you're not listening to people's needs, you're not getting anywhere. It's quality. It's got to be quality. Perfect. Sorry, I kind of got a little bit riled up there.
I didn't want to bring too much of that up and get you emotional, but and one thing that I also picked up on was, that other coach that just kind of planted that seed, right? And you had no interest at first, but that seed was planted. And it just
100%.
And it just kind of watered, and then all of a sudden, like, what am I missing out? Like, you just were intrigued one day, and then it just kind of popped, right? So when you're sending out those conversations, think about that. It could not harvest right away. You're just planting that and just water it. Keep them involved in whatever you're doing, right?
Always. We talked about this last, 2 weeks ago on my team call. It's one thing to add friends to your Facebook list. We always say add 3 friends a day or add 5 friends a week, whatever your goal is, however quickly you want to build. For me, it's three people a day. Add 3 people a day. You can add those people, but if you're not warming your cold market, you're not doing anything with them. So if you can get those people on a list on your Facebook and every night add them into your list and just take 10 minutes and go and just like on their stuff. They start seeing your name, comment on a few things, warm your cold market to build a relationship and start showing that you're interested in them. That's how you're going to take those cold friend invites and warm them into people who start seeing your posts, into people who start taking an interest in who you are. And then, just be you. And I always think about how can I what am I doing right now, and how can I talk about it and post about it to get that other person who's like me to act? How can I get them to act? Anybody can lead a horse to water, but it takes a certain something to get them to drink. You got to do that. You can't be a one-trick pony. You can't be posting the same thing on Facebook all the time. You have to be changing it up. And you can't be offering the same chips to the same people at a party. You got to either change up your chips or invite more people to your party. Nobody wants the same chips over and over again. So time to open up the floodgates and bring some people to your party. Get those invites going. Add 3 people every day, message 3 people every day, and just warm that cold market up. It's getting hot in here.
Awesome. So we got about 5 minutes left. I want to say thank you before I open up to anybody having questions at all. But I knew you would hit down with some info for everybody, and it just goes to show you what. I know you use Facebook for 3/4 of probably your market because that's what you're familiar with. So like, do you go outside of that as well, or do you just stay with what you're familiar with?
I did before. I dabbled different places, and I felt like I was everywhere and nowhere all at once. So to me, I often tell people to master the platform that you're planning on using. Instead of being a little bit in all of them, master 1 or 2 and get good at them. Get really, really good at them. I can admittedly say that I am not using a like page, and I really need to be using a like page. I have IG. I don't use it. I have YouTube. I post stuff, and I do end up with actually quite a few people from YouTube, surprisingly. But if you find one that's working for you, become a master of it. If Pinterest is your jam, pin the crap out of stuff and start, or if blogging is your jam, blog away. But yeah, you definitely don't have to. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. If IG is your thing, master IG and run with it, because so many people can build their businesses there and do. Just because I don't do IG doesn't mean that my downline shouldn't do IG, but I don't feel equipped to help them to build with IG. But so if you can put resources in your back pocket to help your team build in a way that you don't, I think that's also really helpful. So I often dismiss IG stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's IG. I don't do IG. But I need to be saving that so I can share it with my team. So that's my ultimate answer, is that don't be everywhere and nowhere all at once, in my mind, because you kind of spinning your wheels. 1 or 2 is typically, yeah. Johanna, that's my middle name, by the way. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for your insight. I just want to make a comment. I do a lot of clean eating challenges as well. I do 1 a month consistently. I've been doing that for the past year.
Yeah.
And like you said, some I do very well. I get a lot of, I will have to say 50% of my clients come from my challenge groups, from my free clean eating challenges. And they don't necessarily sign up right away. But like you said, I've already offered them a free service. They've already gotten to know what the power of accountability can do for you in a group.
Yeah.
And, and what you can do when you give them a meal plan every week.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like huge, because when I start the conversation, they've already known me for a week.
Absolutely.
And also, if they don't sign up, it's new eyes that I have into my Facebook. So everybody that joins my challenge groups, I friend them. So it's like I'm adding new clients, future clients. So, I think it's definitely a great tool. And,
do you save them, Johanna? Do you save them? Like, all of my clients are all in one group. So like there's 850 people in a group. So when you do have a challenge, you can post that you have a challenge. You save all those people in a group? You have them all? Or do you just do your clean eating challenge and then you close it?
Yes. So I do my clean eating challenge and then I close it maybe like a week later, just in case people still pop questions or they don't know who was running the group. So I keep them open for a week, but everybody that gets added to my clean eating group, I add them to my list. So if I have 50 people on my clean eating group, those 50 people make my list and I follow up with them, within like 3 days of starting the group. Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing with the clean eating group? Do you have any questions? Did you like this recipe? How did you do yesterday? And I just started the conversation like that. But it's been huge so that, you know, I don't feel like I have the need to send cold invites because, you know, I'm gaining all these new people every month.
Okay, so we're going to get cut off. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Connecting, and we'll talk soon, Alida.
Let me know if you have any questions, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Good night.
Everybody.